Thank you very much. I'm giving a short presentation to introduce this on the part of IUCN, but it also sets this very quickly into a context, which is the context of use, sustainable use of natural resources, which IUCN has worked on. It's also something which has been the subject of a project during the course of the summer and earlier in the year, which has produced a great deal of information which quantitatively supports many of the things that are said in this thing. And there is, in fact, a small amount of work that I'd like to just share with you, because you may feel that it's particularly relevant to the consideration today. This has been a project funded by the European Commission in Framework 6, which has been about all aspects of sustainable use, including hunting, but also bird watching, collecting fungi, collecting wild plant materials. It's had help from many groups here today: European Animals Alliance, BirdLife, European Council for the Conservation of Fungi, Plant Life, and FACE. Also from delegates among you who have helped to arrange government responses, resulting in a large number of total responses. The key thing here is that there are some 6.5 million hunters in the European Union and more outside. And their spending is very large, something between 11 and 16 billion euros annually. Hunting is not the largest of the sustainable uses. There are many more people collecting fungi and plant materials, but it is an important one in view of the spending. The annual spend of all activities, hunting, angling, and bird watching, is at least 30 billion euros in Europe, somewhat less than half the 108 billion euros spent in the USA. These are very large, if you like, activity spending. Not all of it goes into conservation, but more could. The numbers of hunters are declining across Europe. There's been a steady decline. These are data for the last 10 years, and the black figures, bars below the zero line on the left, show the decline in hunters. Other groups, such as bird watchers on the right, have been increasing, and ungulates, all the groups of resource species, that's deer and wild swine, have been increasing too, but some downward trend in most other resources. But what is very interesting in this context is that this context, this charter, is a way for people to work together. IUCN is about bringing all its member organizations together, of which there are many for hunting, for watching, for protecting, for all sorts of aspects of conservation. They all need to be working together. And this little graph shows something about what bird watchers think about hunting. This was the BirdLife partners across Europe. Each dot is for a country. And you can see here that in some of those states there's been very strong growth in the numbers of bird watchers. The axis going from left to right is increase in numbers of bird watchers. And you can see here that where the score for bird watchers was favourable towards hunting, they were saying, in other words, where they considered that hunting was helping to improve biotopes, there the numbers of bird watchers went up. So in other words, where bird watchers and hunters were getting on, bird watchers were going up. And exactly the same thing occurs for hunters. And this was really quite incredible, because we did not expect this result from the data. But you find the same thing there, change in the number of hunters, where there is more trust of the hunters for other NGOs at national level, and that will very much mean the protection interests. Their numbers go up too. So both groups are very dependent on each other, and good relationships between them are very good for building conservation. So I'd like to commend this to you and hand over to Scott to give the detail. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert, for that excellent introduction to background information relative to the topic at hand, the European Charter on Hunting and Biodiversity. As Eystein mentioned We have had a very open process. The working group has contributed greatly to the product with much input and guidance both at the meetings and in written format. It's been a very transparent and participatory process. The Charter applies the principles and guidelines on the Convention on Biological Diversity, or CBD, which really is a step forward, I believe, that we are actually able to incorporate these principles and sustainable use in the ecosystem approach into this document. It also integrates relevant EU and international policy regarding hunting, biodiversity, and ecotourism, and it synthesizes all of this into the Charter principles and guidelines. Implicit in the CBD principles and guidelines are the three pillars of sustainability: ecological, social, and economic. We chose to focus on the three pillars because this is really, since Joburg in 2002, this has been basically the way things have to be done. So we look at the ecological sustainability, the use that sustains biodiversity, social sustainability, use that sustains public acceptability, as well as economic, use that motivates local communities to conserve. The scope of this charter is such that the charter addresses hunting as a consumptive and recreational form of utilization and or management of species of birds and terrestrial mammals in Europe in accordance with provisions of the Convention on the Conservation of European Wildlife and Natural Habitats. The Charter's purpose is to provide a non-binding set of guidelines for hunters, hunting tour operators, regulators, and managers that address common principles and good practices for sustainable hunting and hunting tourism in Europe. As mentioned previously, the Charter guidelines are based upon our commitments to the CBD as advised by the Addis Ababa Principles and Guidelines for the Sustainable Use of Biodiversity, as well as the Malawi Principles for the Ecosystem Approach. These are non-binding principles and guidelines that can help to ensure that hunting and hunting tourism in Europe are practiced in a sustainable manner and avoid negative impacts on biodiversity while contributing positively to the conservation of species and habitats, as well as the needs of society. These are all interlinked. The hunting charter has three main sections: sustainable hunting, hunting tourism as a subset of hunting, and standards for European hunters. Charter principles and guidelines, there are 12 of them, 12 principles, and a total of 46 guidelines for the so-called governors or regulators and managers that are charged with the management of biodiversity, as well as 51 guidelines for the users, hunters, as well as hunting tour operators in this context. To run briefly through these, you can see that we have in the appendix of the Charter cross-linked the hunting charter principles with those of Addis Ababa and Malawi. And just to run through these briefly, we have basically summarized the Addis Ababa and Malawi principles into some basic principles. Supported and linked governance at all levels with harmonized regulations to promote societal benefits from conservation and avoid perverse effects. And then we have the first principle: favor multi-level governance that maximizes benefit for conservation. Regulatory is the second principle that seeks to ensure that regulations are understandable and respected. The second, overriding principle from Addis Ababa and Malawi is avoidance of adverse impact within or between ecosystems and of short-termism, especially when faced with inevitable change, as well as transparent and adaptive management along a use protection continuum based on interdisciplinary science, monitoring, and timely feedbacks. We have three categories here that address demographic, genetics, and ecosystem services in specific principles. The third being ensure that harvest is ecologically sustainable, the demographic focus. Maintain wild populations of indigenous species with adaptive gene pools, a genetic focus. And 5, maintain environments that support healthy and robust populations of harvestable species, focusing on ecosystem services. The next overriding principle from CBD, encouragement of economic and cultural incentives with sharing of benefits and costs, especially at local levels while avoiding waste. The sixth principle focuses on economic incentives by encouraging the use to provide economic incentives for conservation. The seventh focuses on waste avoidance and seeks to ensure that harvest is properly utilized and wastage avoided. The next overriding or overarching principle, summated principle from CBD, decentralization of management to an appropriate bioeconomic scale, especially to empower, assess, and access knowledge of local users. This is reflected in Hunting Charter Principle number 8, which focuses on local management and seeks to empower local stakeholders and hold them accountable. The next overarching principle from CBD, education, awareness, and inclusion of managers, resource users, and society at large, is addressed in the last 4 principles in the Hunting Charter. Number 9, competence and responsibility are desirable among users of wild resources, focuses on conduct and proficiency of harvesters. Number 10, minimize avoidable suffering by animals, focuses specifically on animal welfare. 11, encourage cooperation between all stakeholders in management of harvested species, associated species, and their habitats, focuses on horizontal trust. And the final principle and associated guidelines. Number 12, encourage acceptance by society of sustainable consumptive use as a conservation tool, very much focusing on the social aspect of sustainability. What does the Charter do? It gives a formal recognition by the Berne Convention of the importance of hunting as a tool in biodiversity conservation. I'd like to underline here sustainable hunting. It places hunting in sustainable forms and hunting tourism in the same context, within the context of the CBD sustainability principles, ecological, economical, and socio-cultural. It also emphasizes the need for hunter involvement and cooperation in biodiversity monitoring, research, and management. And finally, it integrates issues of conduct and efficiency within the context of social sustainability. This means that animal well-being and welfare, as well as hunter skill, are given high priority. I would like to thank the Council of Europe for entrusting me with this work and to its staff for its excellent assistance and support, to the working group members for providing valuable input and guidance throughout the process of drafting the Charter, also to the Norwegian Directorate for Nature Management for appointing me originally as the Norwegian